Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called Miami Rent Increases by 58%. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help spread the word. Now, let's get started. For those of you who are thinking of moving elsewhere to find cheaper rent, we have some interesting news for you. Here's a list of the rent increases seen in the following cities over the last 24 months. Miami rent has increased by 58% in the last 2 years. Tampa, Florida has gone up by 45%. Orlando has increased by 35% over the last few years. Richmond, Virginia, 30%. Washington, D.C. has increased by 5%. What does that tell you about Washington? Chicago, Illinois has gone up by 6.7%. So what do we deduce from all of this? Well, here's what we and other people predict. First of all, it's clear that a lot of people from New York City are still flooding into Miami to do remote working because the Miami rent prices are still lower than they were in Manhattan. What's interesting is that now rent in New York is collapsing for two reasons. One, of course, is that everyone is still leaving Miami because the prices were too high, and the second is that crime has exploded dramatically. It was incredibly high 2 years ago, but now the level of crime that New Yorkers are forced to endure is almost as bad as what's being seen in Ukraine during its war with Russia. Some people may think that's an exaggeration, but we don't. Let me tell you why. In New York recently, a crazy man entered a subway and attacked the passengers with tear gas, gunfire, smoke grenades, and a hatchet. The only reason he wasn't able to kill all the people on the subway was because his gun jammed. Apparently, he had an extended magazine on his Glock and somehow it jammed. That's similar to how the Russians are attacking innocent Ukrainian civilians these days. What's interesting about New York is that the killer who shot up the subway simply walked away from the subway station, and then he just sort of, walked up and down the sidewalks of the streets of New York for 29 hours without a single police officer noticing him. And you know what? You know how they caught him? They had a tipster call in who recognized him and told the police exactly where he was. So, while the super rich are still flooding into Miami, there's another growing phenomenon there. Illegals are now being flown and bussed into Miami from other parts of the country. The number of illegals will continue to grow and place a growing burden on the infrastructure of the city. So, while the super rich continue to flock there and the poor illegals continue to get sent there, it's becoming clear that now that most middle-class individuals will soon not be able to afford to live in that city. And don't forget about all the sinking high-rises that continue to sink into the earth a little deeper every day. And then there's the economic financial gorilla in the room. Almost all the financial and real estate experts now believe that real estate prices will collapse soon. If so, what does that mean for rent prices? Well, on one level, rent prices are linked to property prices. If the property prices collapse dramatically when the real estate market bubble bursts, then it's bound to exert some downward pressure on rent prices. Rent prices are also linked to other factors like crime, employment levels, and taxes in your area. If the crime continues to skyrocket, then rents will eventually collapse no matter what. If the jobs disappear, then that will also drive down rent costs. But if jobs are moving to your area, then that will exert some upward pressure on rent prices. Geography, jobs, crime, taxes, and other factors all exert an influence on the rent market wherever you are. If some or all of these factors change dramatically, then the effect on rent prices will respond accordingly. We suspect that if the real estate and the stock market bubbles all collapse, then the public will see a huge downward adjustment in rental prices. These are very strange times, and they are getting stranger and stranger. So strap yourself in because the ride is going to get very bumpy. Thank you for watching. I want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel for free. You can also like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so make sure to click on the notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. Also, we ask that you post a link to today's show on all your social media to help get the word out. We shall see you soon. Bye-bye.